It's hard to imagine. Your mother dies, her body is taken to a funeral home, and then you can't get it back.
Hard to imagine, maybe, but in fact, that's exactly what was going on this week until News 13's Michael Herzenberg got involved. He has a strange story to tell in tonight's special assignment.
She loved her kids, she loved her husband, loved all her grandkids.
Vicente C. Baca and Michelle Gallardo are grieving over the loss of their mom.
She was fighting up until the very end.
66-year-old Leona C. Baca passed away last week.
I came up here because she was in the hospital and she was, you know, I didn't come up here expecting a funeral.
But she didn't get one, and the funeral director made the family's grief much worse by holding on to Mrs. C. Baca's remains for a ransom. The bill, $625.
My mother's body is being held hostage for a lump sum of $600 that we couldn't come up with.
The family hired the Gonzalez Funeral Home in Las Vegas to deal with the arrangements.
All I want is paid for my services.
Funeral director Billy Rogers said the family owes him money, and he insists he won't release the deceased Mrs. C. Baca until he gets paid.
And I sat with this family for 2 hours in my conference room, completed all the paperwork with them, and coordinated, got everything ready to go for the cremation. There was a signed contract.
The funeral contract signed by Mrs. C. Baca's infirmed husband, Louis, has a price tag of nearly $2,000 to be paid up front. Family members didn't have the cash, so her children found another funeral home that would accept a payment plan.
We decided to go somewhere else that will work with us, but he's refusing to let go of the body because we owe him money.
Rogers told the grieving family they owed him $150 for transporting the body and $475 for basic services. And just to make sure he gets paid, he's hanging on to Mrs. C. Baca's remains as collateral.
I'm a professional. I'm not a plumber. I can't go into a car dealership or go into a furniture store and buy an appliance and walk out with it and say, well, I'll pay for it later when I can afford it. And I'm willing to wait this thing out.
So the body of Leona C. Baca remained safely locked up in the funeral home's cold storage.
He is putting us through hell, really. I mean, just all for a dollar sign.
I can't believe that people, that there's people out here that would do that, especially at a time like this when we're mourning.
You hear of it from time to time. I don't think it's a regular practice.
New Mexico's Funeral Association president says mortuaries have the right to charge what they want, but holding a body hostage is unethical.
A body is personal property, and it belongs to the family.
The National Funeral Directors Association agrees. Members must turn over human remains upon request of the family, quote, without requiring payment.
The $475 I'm still entitled to.
Rogers says he's not breaking the law. In fact, New Mexico's statutes actually allow funeral homes to hold bodies as collateral until the mortuary fees have been paid.
We need to change the statute that allows morticians to essentially hold a body ransom until they receive payment.
House Judiciary Chairman Al Park says he'll work to bring New Mexico law up to national standards.
There are tons of other remedies available to get their payment. They can file lawsuits, they can do liens, they can do any kinds of things, but to actually hold a body ransom for payment is not just unethical, but it really is immoral.
The family has a right to file a complaint.
Rogers says if the family doesn't like it, they can go file a complaint with the state licensing board that oversees funeral homes. Yeah, right. Guess who the vice chairman of the board is? Billy Rogers.
It's insane, it's absolutely insane.
Funeral home complaints can take up to 2 years to resolve. Little comfort to the C. Bacas.
I mean, she had the biggest heart for anybody that she met.
She touched their hearts.
And late word tonight, a week after Mrs. C. Baca's death, the family will finally be able to have a funeral. The day after our interview with the Gonzalez mortuary, Billy Rogers changed his mind. He released Mrs. C. Baca's remains with no charge. Why? He told me it's his prerogative. Back to you.
All right, well, Representative Park said that he will ask the governor to include the legal change in January's session of the legislature.